I had a thought this morning that changed the way that I think about the word happiness. I want you to think of happiness like it's a drug, okay? Hear me out. I promise I'm not crazy. Just like stick with me here for a second. But first of all, I want you to think of the word drugs and think of like the common things that you normally associate with this word. So, drugs are this bad thing that people build dependency on, and sometimes they build addiction on. Usually they make you feel good like short term, but normally there's some sort of like adverse health side effects that get worse with your extended use. Or I mean, sometimes people will do like some pretty crazy stuff just to get more of whatever drug they're looking for, you know? To sum it up simply, drugs are bad, right? This is something that we all know, but now I want you to replace the word drugs with the word happiness. Happiness is something that you build a dependency on. It's something that you crave and search for every single day. Think about it. Like when you don't have it, your days are awful. The more you get, the more you want. The more you want, the more you need, because usually dopamine, your normal rush, just isn't enough anymore, you know? And I never thought about it like this before, but sometimes happiness it really just feels like a drug. We we seek out more food every day, more money, more social interaction, more stuff equals more happiness is a way of thinking that I think a lot of us are like really guilty of adapting to nowadays. But what happens when more isn't enough? Obviously everybody wants to be happy, but when does chasing that high like actually become a bad thing? Sorry if I kind of nerd out here, but there's a guy that I read about called Philip Brickman, and he created this concept of hedonic adaptation. It's also known as the hedonic treadmill, and it's a concept studied by a psychologist which refers to this like treadmill-like system of happiness in your brain. So imagine you get like a boost of joy, like I don't know, buying something that you really want. At first, it always feels amazing, right? After time, you adapt to it, the happiness levels wear off, and you keep chasing that next big thing to feel happy again. You know, it's like you're running on a treadmill. You're moving, but you're not really getting anywhere in terms of long-lasting happiness. Like you're stationary, you know. And it's the idea that we are constantly just adjusting to our current level of happiness, like always seeking out more, but not necessarily finding lasting satisfaction, you know? Although, though, I'm sure we can all agree that some extra money will make us a bit happier, hedonic adaptation proves to us that it's only short-term dopamine for a much longer race that we have in our own minds. Just like any other addicting or powerful drug, happiness is going to create a craving. When you experience the high of happiness, you might want more of that good feeling. Then you have something like your tolerance factor that now that you have like experience with this high, you're gonna need more of a dose, a higher dose of happiness just to get that same buzz that you craved from before. What used to make you super happy now might not make you feel as intense after some time, right? And now that you're used to this feeling and you want more, what happens when all of a sudden you aren't getting that same high? You start to crash, you look for more of this drug that you can't find. All the doses that you used to take don't work anymore, so you start taking less. Now that you don't feel like you used to, all of a sudden you're crashing, like you're going through a withdrawal. So this is something that social scientists have studied for the longest time, like I mean decades, and according to their research, happiness can be broken down into 4 categories. So this is crazy to me, but apparently 40% of your happiness is like actually purely genetic. So you can be born less happy or more happy than other people, which is wild. But the good news is that 10% of your happiness comes from situations like what is happening to you. And the other 50% is completely behavior and mentality based. So again, this is great news because it shows that a large majority of our happiness is actually completely under our own control. And to take control of your happiness, first you have to find your brain type. There's this guy named Dr. Daniel Amen, and his team of scientists put this formula together. It's like, it essentially states that every single person can fall under 5 different categories of brain types. So there's balanced, there's spontaneous, there's persistent, sensitive, and cautious. And I'm not going to dive into each of them because, I mean, we'd be here for like an hour, but if you want to figure out your own brain type, just Google something like, what's my brain type quiz or something. That's what I did, and I ended up understanding that I am the cautious type. Knowing your brain type helps you learn more about your like reactions to events and your reactions to certain situations. And it also lets you understand why and how you should be responsible for your own unique feeling and your own unique happiness. But I mean, this leads me to the point of this video, which is like, how can we actually start feeling better today? Well, the first step to happiness is health. And I think everybody knows this, but when you're healthy, you feel good. When you feel good, you look good. And essentially anything that disrupts your brain from being healthy disrupts your happiness. And this directly affects how we feel, right? So first of all, just drink water. I think that a lot of people fail to understand that 80% of a healthy brain is legit just water. So dehydration can be very harmful to your brain. And this leads to a decrease in your overall mood. And of course, eating healthy is also like extremely important when it comes to our overall health. So the better you eat, the better you feel. Calories can either boost or depress your mood. Obesity is associated with depression, low self-esteem, poor body image, ADHD, bipolar disorders, panic disorders, addictions. Like, I mean, I could go on and on. But let's say you're already feeling healthy. If you're already kind of a healthy person, then it's really important that you protect your health. And protecting your health is directly protecting your happiness. So I wrote down some bullet points on ways to protect our happiness, but I mean, there's legit like hundreds of ways that you can do this. First of all, you need to be looking towards your future and towards the present. Dwelling on the past is just so unhealthy. It's thinking about like old frightening scenarios or times that you are embarrassed or times that you are insulted. This is not at all helpful to you growing as a person if you're just going to dwell in the past. The longer that you keep your mind on negative thoughts, the longer that you're just going to feel negative emotions. So the quicker that you can just get over that and just kind of seek refuge towards the future, I think the quicker that you're going to actually start feeling better. Something that I do a lot is I concentrate on my supportive friends and family because I like to just feel thankful and just feel appreciated by the people that I love around me. Thinking of the people that you care about really reminds you of like things that you value in life. It reminds you of your relationships in life. And I think that is really helpful. What I want you to understand the most from this like scientific little nerd rant I'm going off on right now is that you should not be chasing happiness. Happiness will come with things like good habits, health, staying thankful. What I want you to chase is peace, like inner peace. Once you feel at peace with the world, you will start to see the positives in your day-to-day life instead of just sticking to the negative ones all the time. And once you feel at peace with yourself, your confidence is going to shoot up, you're going to look better, you're going to feel better. And slowly you'll start to realize that everything in life will just start to fall into place. And trust me, like I really understand that one hate comment can ruin your whole day. Even if you just see or hear like hundreds of positive ones, it's what good comes out from just dwelling on someone else's opinion or focusing on your own past mistakes, you know? The hardest person in the world to prove your own worth to is yourself. So once you conquer that challenge, there is legit no one that stands in your way. Like seriously, I mean that. I straight up just zoned out for like 2 hours in the middle of recording this video and just like locked in and made this crazy ass little what is this? I don't know, like a barn, like a medieval farmhouse or some shit. But yeah, I hope you guys liked today's video, and I know I went on a little bit of like a bro science mode instead of my usual just like dumbass rants, but I think that this was a super important lesson that I learned recently, so I wanted to try and collect my thoughts the best way I could and try and share with you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, consider subbing or dropping a like if you enjoyed this video, and if you leave a comment, I'll do my best to respond to all of them. I really just enjoy talking to you guys. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. Take care, guys. See ya.